the currency now, the rise of the Naira against the dollar. It appears not everyone is excited by these developments. Some people have even said that it's not sustainable because Nigeria is not a producing nation. We do not have much to export, which will strengthen the Naira. And some people have even alleged that the CBN is probably using the foreign reserves to defend the Naira, even though the CBN has come out to state the facts clear that they are not doing any of sort. But they say this rise in Naira, it will be short-lived.
You know, Femi, you cannot totally remove or eradicate skepticism from any society. And I've long said that any skepticism that exists within our country is well-earned. We have had decades of maladministration. We have had broken promises by successive administrations. That is not news to our people. What we are focused on is ensuring that what we promise to our people, we deliver to our people. And when Mr. President said that there was going to be difficult storms in the initial phase of his reforms with respect to the unification of the foreign exchange market, with respect to the modifications and reforms brought to the fuel subsidy regime, that yes, there were going to be difficulties, but they would be followed by a period of progress and reward. I think anybody who is being fair-minded with respect to the strength of the national currency would recognize that what they've seen is unprecedented, particularly in the speed and the extent of the recovery we have seen. That's number one. Number two is, on the larger question about whether this is sustainable or not, I think it requires a bit more sophistication in the analysis to appreciate that what we had before was, under the leadership of Godwin Emefiele at the central bank, was effectively the pegging of the currency at an artificial rate that was premised on the essentially limitless defense of the Naira with whatever foreign earnings we were making at the time to keep it at a rate. As a result of that artificial setup, what you now had was a system that lacked integrity, because when an investor brings in their foreign exchange, for example, or earns foreign exchange, they want to be able to take it out in foreign exchange, and they cannot, which is what we saw with airlines, which is what we saw with manufacturers, because our foreign exchange that was already scanty was essentially being cut up into pieces, and we're essentially managing things to create an impression of something that doesn't really exist, which is the artificial strength of a currency that doesn't really have a foundational basis to its strength. What we now have, essentially, is a currency that is not being defended by our foreign exchange reserves, as rightly stated by the central bank governor, that is based on a true reflection of, and again, the true reflection is probably under 1,000 Naira to the dollar, frankly, and we're still moving toward that, so let me say that out front. We're still moving toward the true strength of our currency. But what is fair to say is that we have a currency that is supported by the fundamentals that undergird its present strength. It's not a pegging. It's not a mustering of whatever foreign exchange we have available to create an appearance that we have strength that we don't have. There's nobody with any evidence, with any data that can make that claim today, whereas that was clearly the case as of yesterday, which is why we've been positioned under the leadership of this president to pay off over $7,000 billion in foreign exchange USD denominated backlogs. We've done that because of our determination to ensure that we get a currency that everybody around the world who has insight into what we're doing can validate and verify that if they bring their money in, they'll be able to take their money out, because they're dealing with the Nigerian Naira at the relative sphere of its true strength, even as we believe we're going to get closer to its true strength over the course of the next several months. When those those fundamental features are understood, I think people will recognize the difference between what happened before and what is happening now with respect to our ability to say that over the course of the next 6 months, 1 year, and years ahead, we're not going to be flying back to 2,000 Naira to the dollar, et cetera, but that we're going to, in a very sustainable and steady way, move toward the true strength of our currency, which we are very firmly convinced is beneath 1,000 Naira to the dollar.